Okay, let's try this again. Hey guys, what's going on? Mumu here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. If y'all are currently following my other escapade of me doing Dark Souls 2, I do plan to make a return of that. It's just not happening at the moment, so I do apologize for that. So if you're here for that, I do apologize. But I did figure out that I could get back to modded Minecraft, which has actually been one of my favorite things to do. I'm currently dealing with a little bit of lag, so I do apologize for that, but hopefully I can get to a point where everything is actually a bit more stable. Um, so I did just go ahead and start this world, and there will be a few things that I need to kind of iterate on when it comes to how this world is going to work. So first things first, this is the mod pack Questing Mayhem. Now, if y'all are familiar with any of my old content that I used to put up on this channel a long time ago, you will know that Questing Mayhem is actually the very first mod pack I ever played. And it has basically become it's a comfort pack if I were to really put it into a different set of words. It's just something that I've always like really enjoyed playing, going back to, and uh, just enjoying myself with, even though it is a very, very grindy pack. So, what I do plan to try to do with this world is that this is going to be a play on hardcore mode. Now, you will notice that I do not have the hardcore hearts. That is because we're going to be doing this just a little bit differently. So instead of doing hardcore mode to the point where I only have the one life, I will be putting myself on a 10 death counter. So what that means is that once I hit 10 deaths, then I will lose the world entirely. Um, Now, what is that going to be doing for the remainder of the series? Well, what this did allow me to do was enable myself to have cheats, obviously, which you can't do in hardcore. Now, I will not be abusing the system. I will not be giving myself like extra items or anything like that. Basically, what the cheat will allow me to do is, say for instance, I want to go check something out, I can immediately pop myself into creative mode to go fly. And that's going to be like one of the bigger reasons that I do this, is this way I don't end up having like a whole episode or two of me literally flying around trying to find a specific biome, for instance, because one of the things in this mod pack is we need to have a bunch of the um, Pam's Harvest items. So one thing you have to do is you have to go around and try to find uh, like the jungle biomes and swamp biomes and stuff like that, and finding specific items. So, uh, wait, wait, don't click here to start. Yes, click here to show quests. There we go. I didn't want to do anything real quick. Open up into the zombies like it will always do. We technically already have all these. I'm just going to get the planks. I'm not going to worry about ever getting these reward bags. The reward bags don't really give a whole lot of good stuff. It can, but it is so um, skewed that it makes no difference if I actually get them or not. So another thing is you'll see that I have stuff already. I did start with the spawn chest, so I could at least get a start of things. And I am getting some serious lag here at the moment, which kind of sucks. Also, my headphones are getting audio spikes, so I hope that that is not transferring into y'all's uh, side of things, so I do apologize. Another thing, real quick, is that I am doing this on what is supposed to be my school laptop. So I've ran into the issue of my actual computer no longer wanting to run mod packs no matter what I do. So in order for me to try to counteract that to an extent, I have resorted to going into my laptop to see if I could do, for instance, modded Minecraft, because like I've already mentioned, modded Minecraft is one of my passions. I just love it. It's definitely one of those things that I can use to kind of uh, settle my mind and do stuff that I would not normally be able to do. And plus, it is a good way to let off some steam in my case. And I got vein miner, so I need to remember to use that. So why don't we do that for these coal real quick? Go. So one of the things that I end up doing whenever I do end up playing modern Minecraft is if I can't immediately try to get myself into a good livable situation, I will start mining into a stone-faced area and get myself situated. So like for instance, it's about to be nighttime. And I don't want to have a death early in the game, and I am getting a slow start because I am trying to think and explain and all that kind of stuff at the beginning, and I'm getting another lag spike, and I don't like this. So we're going to place a couple of torches. I'll get some for the what will be the inside here. Placing is going to be a pain at the moment with the lag. Okay. Well, at least I'm covered. So, let's get chest. So we can clear inventory. Because I don't need those right now. I'm not going to need those for a good long while. I'll make some more torches here soon, so we'll put those down there. So I do need to make uh the wooden ones. So get the shovel, get the axe, boom, there we go. So now if I go into, come on, there we go. If I go in here, I should have the next one already done and set. There we go. So I needed to make a wooden pickaxe, axe, and shovel, and then I also needed to make a stone set as well. This will get me some of these nice looking torches, as well as getting me a stone sword. Uh, so just heard a mob. So back to what I was saying about how I'm going to be doing this. So this is going to be essentially a hardcore world, but without the one dead and done situation. So how all this will, so it's not going to include that cobblestone right there. That kind of sucks, but oh well. So what does this actually mean? So I've said that I will do a 10 death setup. So once I hit 10 deaths, that is it. I lose the world, and then if I want to, I can start over and try to go from there. Reason I want to do the 10 death thing instead of just the one and done. This world, or this mod pack specifically, is super grindy. The man behind it, called Mantic, he had a very good insanity streak that came to him when it came to wanting to do this pack. So one of the big things of this pack is all the iron you need. If I remember correctly, just to do one of the quests that involves iron is that you need over like 60,000 if I remember correctly. It's been a while. And I'm not talking ingots. I'm talking blocks. You might be thinking, that's not too bad. Well, it is and it isn't because there's definitely ways that you can increase the amount of ingots that you're producing and ultimately getting a whole bunch more later on down the line. However, when you first see that early game, it doesn't leave a lot of happy-go-lucky feelings. If I remember to put it in the description, I will get the link that would take you to the mod pack's actual page. So y'all can go and check it out because it's actually listed in the description of the mod pack is that one of the quests involves you getting, I'm pretty sure it's over 60,000 or it's over 50,000, but it's mid-tier 5-digit numbers that you need, and it is insane. Okay, that's not counting the cobble, unless I'm just being stupid in how it's actually doing things. But yeah, so that's part of the reason why I'm doing the 10 thing, is so I can actually attempt to accomplish completion of the pack. Now, this pack is not small. This pack is actually very big in terms of the amount of time it's needed to do quests. Now, another issue is, okay, I was about to say, this should work. We're gonna get more cobble as well. But like I said, I'm not getting the reward packs. I keep losing my train of thought. Squirrel. No, I really lost my train of thought. 10 deaths. So, as I said, this is the reason for it is I can enable the cheats. That's mainly so I can go flying around. I promise I will not be spawning in any items or anything like that. There will come a small issue involving this first page here, which is why I'm still on it. So, for some reason, it's next to impossible, or it used to be. I don't remember if it got fixed. It might have got fixed a long time ago, I don't remember. But for some reason, it was almost next to impossible to be able to complete all the casts. I think it's because like you have to be able to get a spawn of one of them because you can't just automatically craft it or something like that. I don't 100% remember. But I will cross that bridge when I get there. Hopefully it's not a big massive thing. And we're actually going to be getting into some of the first step grinding areas. So luckily, when Mantic did create this pack, he did enable, like for instance, doing all of the uh, broken ores. And the broken ores is extremely useful because normally you would get the gravel version and you would stop there. But it is more beneficial to go all the way to powder because you get more product. So say for instance you get a stack of the 64 gravel. You break that down so you can get the crushed iron. You might end up with a stack and a quarter. It's not usually going to be that uh, spot on. You might get a stack in 10. You might get a stack in 25. I have one that literally happened to where I had a full stack starting and I ended up with 2 stacks afterwards. So it is extremely possible to get even more. But then you take that crushed, which is technically the sand, and you're taking that down to dust. So it's like in other mod packs where you're literally getting cobblestone, then gravel, then sand, and then dust. It's the same concept, but it's also used with the ores. So we're going to be going from standard uh, ore blocks that I can then crush down into the gravel forms, that I can then crush down into the sand forms, that I can then crush down into the dust forms. And ultimately, we can turn what would start off for a, say, a stack, as we could finish off by having close to 2 stacks. And then we put it through the smelter, we get that doubled, that's 4 stacks. So, there is something out there. I don't know what it is, and I don't see it on my mini-map at the moment, and it is breathing heavily. So yeah, that is going to be a big uh, thing we're going to have to do. Now, it should be close to daytime. It'd be nice if the minimap actually changed with the time of day instead of just uh, going on its merry way. So yeah, for the most part, my base will literally be inside of this mountainside, just because this is the area I spawned in. It's right next to a magical forest, which will come in handy way later down the line when we have to get into Evilcraft and stuff like that. And that is one of the mods that I particularly do not enjoy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, that's bad. Bad lag, bad lag. Okay. So let's go ahead and break that for now. We'll have to get everything back in our inventory, but that's because we've are extending out just slightly. I don't really like the fact that I am doing this on my laptop just because my computer would be so much better, but God damn it. But like I mentioned, I have been having issues with my computer actually wanting to do mod packs. I don't know why. I have attempted to figure it out, and I can't seem to figure it out. So I am essentially restricted to my laptop if I want to play modded Minecraft. I can do regular vanilla Minecraft on my actual computer, but I can't do modded, which is extremely unfortunate. Plus, playing on my laptop is currently a little weird. Okay, yeah, let's just not place things properly. Oh, yeah. I forgot all about this. So welcome to one of the first hurdles. You can't just make a furnace normally. You need the chest. You put the chest in the center. Then you can get the furnace. Now, one of the reasons why it's like that is because in Mantic's view, it's important to have a storage piece used to make the furnace because then it's like, well, how are you getting the storage into the furnace to begin with? So he added that as part of a little thing where in order to make a furnace, you need the chest. Which is not terrible, but it does make a little bit of extra effort needed in order to uh get the furnace. So another thing is I'm lucky that this is right here next to where I spawned because I'm going to need that thing in the center there later on down the line. Aw, we're starting off with the broom, and the broom is such a good find at the very beginning of the game, but it is so laggy. It's not worth it at the same time. That's both good and bad. Like, if you've never played the pack yet yourself, that broom, the first time I ever found the broom, this thing's making the noise. Uh, the first time I found the broom, it enabled so much maneuverability. Because it's a good flying mechanic without having to worry about any kind of a cheat. The bad thing is that it lagged so bad, especially when you were trying to load up chunks. And uh when I first found one, I loved it. Like it was my favorite thing to do. And after a little bit, I was like, it's good, but it could be way better. So let's go ahead and sort out through some inventory real quick so I can go get some of the stuff out of there. I'm probably not going to be using that bow. It's a very good find at the very beginning, but at the same time, eh. Okay. So I got the stone ones, so I don't need uh the wood ones anymore, which is fine because I kind of want to get 1 or 2 pieces of charcoal real quick. I think I'll get like 2 each. Put y'all in there. Again, I apologize if y'all are getting any of that uh, audio spike cracks, because I'm getting them through my headphones. I don't know if it's actually going through on y'all's end or not. I don't think it is, though. So we want to grab all of that. We want to grab all that. Okay. Okay, so we managed to only get 1 piece of charcoal per, which honestly, that's okay. Charcoal in there. I need to go ahead and make a door real quick. Eh, there we go. So that recipe automatically just gives us the 1 door. That way we aren't having to have a bunch of extra ones that we just have no use for. Which I like. I don't remember if that's actually the standard from 1.7.10 Minecraft to begin with, or if that was an added thing. So, we got some mana steel to start with. There's 3 iron ingots already. We have a steel sword, which is very, very nice. You know what? These actually don't add a whole lot of protection, so we're going to put a special hat on. Ah, okay. I thought those could actually be smelted down. They can't. Good to know. Sorry, thinking at the moment how I'm trying to set everything up. Put the ender lilies in there for, you know what, we'll resource dump at the moment, because I don't have too much of a care about it right now. Put those swords in there. So that is probably a really, really good find right now as well, was the ender. It's a pretty good, solid uh entry sword. So if you find one at the very beginning of the pack, like, you're pretty solid at the moment. Now, another thing, look how big this thing is when it's just an item on the ground. And that's actually going to be the standard size of it too, like when you're flying around. So this thing only shrinks when it's in inventory. Other than that, it's just there. There was also instance, I think this was a bug before 1.0 was released, was that sometimes when you got on the brooms, it would crash the game for whatever reason. So another reason I won't be using the broom is I don't want to crash the game. Alright, so I'm going to take a short pause here, and I'm going to try to, oh, I can't just pause. Why can't I just pause it in here? Thank you, OBS. That's awesome. Okay, you know what? So I think I'm just gonna use this as a stopping point for this episode. I've already at 30 minutes, so, and I basically accomplished almost nothing. We got the intro in. I got the premise of how I'm gonna be setting all this up. So you at least understand what my goal is for how I'm gonna be doing this mod pack. So again, I'm doing 10 deaths. I'm not doing the actual original hardcore. But it is basically like, hey, if I get to 10 deaths, and let's say I barely got to book 2 of quests, I have to unfortunately end and start over if I want to. So, and that's another thing. There's 3 quest books. And some of the quests do kind of interact with each other. So it's like if you do one quest here, it could potentially complete it in the other books later on. So it's not like you have an individual quest that you have to make sure you do every single time. Sometimes you might already have the items, you're good to go, kind of thing. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I hope y'all join me on this journey of a return to Questing Mayhem hardcore mode. Uh, Trying to get to where it shows my character's face, and I can't do that, and I don't remember what button it is. So, sad day for me. But if y'all did at least somewhat enjoy this and you're looking forward to future episodes, leave a like, subscribe so you can get those future uploads. I will be getting back into Dark Souls 2 eventually as well. So I just had stuff going on the last several weeks, which is why this is the first episode of anything that I've had uploaded in I think like 4 weeks now. So like, subscribe if you want to see future stuff. Leave a comment down below if you have anything you want to say on it, or if you have anything you want to ask, or anything you want to state on what I am doing. Uh, Please feel free to do so. And I will see y'all in my next upload. Later, guys.